Hey guys, it's me, Jonathan Giblo, bringing you another Giblo review. But wait, Mary and the Witch's Flower isn't made by Studio Ghibli? I can't do that. Yeah, this movie isn't made by the studio I won't shut up about. It's actually by Studio Ponok? Pono? How do you say that? The director, Hiromasa Yonebayashi, did do some Grimleys though. But at the same time, look at this movie. You can't copyright an art style. But come on, who are we kidding? The story is also very Ghibli-like. Girl who doesn't like herself moves to a new place, follows a cat through a winding forest path to get a flower and then later a broom. Whoops, it's magic. Time to go to Hogwarts and learn the importance of family or some shit along the way. It doesn't really try to hide how heavily inspired it is by movies like Kiki's Delivery Service, Ponyo, and I guess Castle in the Sky if you want. It may sound like I didn't like the film, which is not true. Of course, the guy behind Arietti and When Marnie Was There can't miss. It's not as good as those, but still, like a 7 out of 10 maybe. My main problems with it are the 2 points that Ghibli always manage to hit home, namely the world building and the messaging. First, the world. The main focus of the movie is Magic Harvard. We spend a good chunk of the runtime just walking around campus. The problem is that it doesn't really matter. We only meet 2 characters, both of them teachers. There is no student character. Every class is just visited once and never brought up again. It just wastes time. Compare that to the bathhouse in Spirited Away, a similar magic location. Chihiro also gets a tour of the facility, but the difference is, every place is returned to. There's characters both among the clientele and the employees, as well as the fact that time actually passes there, is what makes it one of the most alive locations in any movie ever. In Mary and the Witch's Flower, there are whimsical concepts and thought-out ideas, but there's no substance behind them. Mary never spends any time at the college, so she doesn't take any class or eat at the cafeteria. Sure, it wouldn't work in this movie. It's not the same as Spirited Away. But in that case, maybe don't do all this setup for nothing. At least use it in the climax. Then there's the messaging. I think it accidentally became very conservative. Not to spoil, but in the end, Mary realizes that she doesn't need magic. No one needs it. This completes her arc because now she appreciates herself for who she is. Fine. All good. Awesome stuff really. Except for the teeny tiny detail that throughout the movie, magic is used as an allegory for scientific progress. Yeah, the villains use the progress in the wrong way with nasty experiments. The way the message is presented makes the movie weirdly trad. It may seem similar to Miyazaki's nature beliefs, but it's slightly different. Princess Mononoke presents both sides of the argument and reaches the conclusion that a balance between tradition and progress must be struck. I don't know, the message just didn't work for me here. Enough complaining. If you don't think too much while watching, this is really good. Even though I no longer can do that while watching something Ghibli-esque, you probably can. So here's some stuff that really works in the movie. The most obvious thing is the visuals. Gorgeous backgrounds, good character acting, fun designs, and ooh, that flower animation. I'm not the person to go to for some more in-depth art analysis though. I just know some buzzwords. Although the human characters as well as the locations are really cool, there's something missing in the creature designs. The Infinicraft animals would be fine in any other art style, but because this looks so much like Studio Ghibli, they aren't up to snuff. Shit, I'm complaining again. Okay, well, Mary and the Witch's Flower would be really good as baby's first Griblo. I know from experience that a movie like Spirited Away is way too subtle for a kid to fully get. Or maybe I was just dumb as bricks. This movie is way more apparent in everything it does, and in that way, it more closely resembles a traditional kids movie. How Mary learns to like herself is telegraphed way more clearly than Chihiro's journey to grow up. I don't think there's any part in this that would have messed me up in the same way that Spirited Away did either. Instead, we have every animal that Mary saved coming back to help her in what can only be described as Avengers Endgame, But instead of being bad and sucking ass, it was sugoi and kawaii. I'm realizing that I'm very bad at complimenting things. I'll have you know that the movie does everything fine, and you probably wouldn't notice most of the things I've pointed out. With that said, back to complaining. I'm fairly certain that no Ghibli movie worth its salt has a flashback, let alone one with a sole purpose of exposition. To have the opening action sequence be a tease for the lore dump an hour later isn't my favorite decision, but that isn't anything compared to the fact that the villain's motivations are explained in like 2 lines in said flashback. Oh, they changed so much after they got the flower. How did they change? Show me. It's not like the film is obscenely long. They could have spared a few minutes to expand on this point. I know I misunderstood the cat in Kiki, but there's gotta be something up with that guy. I thought he would be the opening witch's cat or something, but no. Little guy just instinctively knew the step-by-step to get into Wizard Oxford. Cats are magical creatures, my ass. There's no way that isn't a transfigured human. Oh yeah, that reminds me, this movie has one of the worst cases of an unfired Chekhov's gun that I've ever seen. They repeatedly state that if you break the rules or trespass on campus, you'll get transformed into something else. But it never happens. There's multiple cases of trespassing, but no action is taken. They were put into processing to get experimented on and I guess in a way transformed, but it never happens on screen. Okay, I know there's absolutely 0 people who'll care about this, but at this point, it's my purpose in life to connect everything even remotely resembling Ghibli. Watch this video for context. Anyway, whimsical magical civilization in both the sky and the sea. The peak of magic doesn't resemble anyone in particular, right? The college has been around since the age of the dragon, you say. Winding pathway and pass through a thunderstorm to get to the magic sky island, huh? You're telling me that redheads are the most proficient in magic, and magic chemistry does in fact exist. That's basically it. I don't want to obliterate my retention completely. Oh wait, I've run out of things to talk about. Even though I've done nothing but complain for these past, 8 minutes, I still like the movie. It's a Cat Returns, not an Asuka. It's hard to critique something that's just dumb fun, but I tried my best, methinks. You know, I'm not really good at reviewing things, am I? I only know how to rant and nitpick minor details. Praising and compiling my overall thoughts aren't what I excel at. Maybe that's why nobody watches these videos. That won't stop me, you know. I'll slam my head into this wall until I break through. Subscribe! Liking is prohibited from this one, sorry. I saved the worst scene this movie did for last. Be British.